This video is going to show you the use of a shim when you make a panel out of pieces of wood. And looking at the clamp, we have the top section is on the hoist, and the bottom and the middle section are in the arms and attached to the wood frame, and there's a gantry crane that's holding up the hoist. The first thing we're going to place on the bottom section are steel spacer bars. In this case, we're going to use 3-inch wide spacer bars at the front end and the back end. The 3-inch wide spacer bars have now been placed on top of the bottom section, and the next step is to put the pieces of wood in between the two steel spacer bars. The pieces of wood have now been placed on the bottom section, and there are 6 pieces, and they're each 3 inches wide, and there's no pressure yet from these horizontal clamps. The frame has been rolled underneath the top section, and the next step is to lower the top section on top of the pieces of wood and the 2 spacer bars, and make sure that the boards are under some pressure in a vertical direction so that they're flat against the bottom section. The top section is now on top of the workpiece, and the next step is to tighten the horizontal clamps and check to make sure there are no gaps in between the individual pieces of wood. The horizontal pipe clamps have been tightened to a degree of light to medium pressure, and these boards have been cut so that they're straight and there shouldn't be any gaps. So this is a dry run just to check to make sure that after you glue the boards together that there aren't going to be any gaps. So you just visually look at all the seams and make sure that they're all close together and there are no gaps. I'm going to put a shim in this area just to tighten this one small area at the end of this board at the very bottom and the adjacent board. So I'm going to loosen my horizontal pipe clamps so I can put a 1/64 inch shim in there, and then I'm going to check this area right here between the bottom board and the board next to it. The shim has been placed in position, and the pressure on the horizontal clamp is similar to before, light to medium pressure, and the seam looks tighter, and we're going to go with this shim when we glue the boards together. The use of a shim will improve the appearance of the panel because it eliminates any gaps between the boards, but the goal is to have straight pieces so that you don't have to use shims, but the shims are there in case you need to use them.